When working with images that are panoramic in nature, you do need to kind of take a specific strategy when working with them. So take a look at this. So inside of your Valley View downloads folder, I have 36 images that I did. I wanted to do a wide panel of Valley View over at Yosemite. So that's the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Right? But I wanted to make sure that I had as much information as I could. So what I did was I did the panel vertically. So these are all of the panels that are done. Now, as you go through this, like here's the next section, here's the next section. So there's 4 sections. So if I wanted to show you all 4 sections, I'll just kind of highlight those. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch. That's 1, 2. Notice how skewed this is, right? So you take a look at this first one. Right, so there's a bunch of different ones there. Now what I want to do is I want to take those and I want to be able to merge them in HDR, but I also want to do a panel. Well, think of it this way. Imagine having to do a merge with a file like this. There's almost no data. Even doing a merge like this, that would be very, very little data for you to do a merge. So in that case, I think that what you need to do is you need to take these files and you'd have to process them one at a time. So you'd go into Automate, go into Merge to HDR Pro, and in this case I'm just going to do files because I'm just going to get a series of files. I'll go ahead and I'll grab, let's say, these 9 files. Once I do that, I'm going to automatically align them. It's going to take all of those images, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the HDR correction for one of these. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to create a preset for that. And then every subsequent one that I create for this, rather than trying to figure out what it is that I want to do and how I want to work with it, all I'm going to do is just apply the preset for it. So as that's done, it makes the first one's kind of a bit of a pain, but then after that, all I have to do is just go and find the preset that I want. In this case, it would be Valley View CS6 because I've already pre-done it. And then just click on the OK button. Then I would save that as one file. Now, I've already done that. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Inside of this, the merge files, the process files, that's the first one. That's the second one. Notice how different this is here, between here and here. It's much smaller here. There's the third one. There's the fourth one. Once you do all of that, all you need to do in Photoshop is just go back into Photoshop, go to File, Automate, and then go down to Photo Merge. And in Photo Merge, we'll go ahead and we'll select those 4 files, right? 1 through 4. And then I'm going to use geometric distortion correction and blending images together. It'll grab those 4 files and then it'll construct its own way to be able to manipulate that. And you'll notice that despite the fact that one shot has one mountain really, really big and the other one has it really, really small, Photoshop does a phenomenal job of layering those two together and then taking all of those exposures and blending them so that you have a very big seamless transition. The only thing that I think that you're going to miss with this is that you're going to notice that there's a whole bunch of white spaces on the edges. But this was why we shot vertically to begin with. By shooting vertically, you eliminate having to chop off a lot more of the image. You're going to find that the resulting file is going to be a lot bigger for you anyway. So take a look. That's a really, really nice merge. There's a lot of white space in these areas, but that's okay, right? Because there's a lot of meat for this file. At this point, all you need to do is just kind of close this down, and however you want to deal with this from here on in would be your choice, right? You could do a Command T for transforming, select your warp, and kind of pull out your edges, right? This could be one viable option where you would kind of warp out to the end of this. Right, there's a big exaggerated warp there, and I can get and I can grab this out, pull this over this way. That would give you one very, very long panel. Then you could also use an adaptive wide angle correction, right? So this could be one option. I'm going to show you another option that I did here. Right. So in this option, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Filter, and I'm going to use Photoshop's new Adaptive Wide Angle. And then I'll just click and I'll drag right here along this line, holding down the Shift key will force it to straighten it out. Once that's straight, then I would just go in and I would just crop out the rest. So there's a variety of different ways to be able to attack the problem. This one, to be honest with you, can create a little bit of distortion in the edges, but it'll give you the maximum amount. But truthfully, I mean, the size of this file, if you take a look, go to the image size, that's 21 by 13 at 240. Even if you went in with a crop tool and cropped out the excesses, which you're usually used to if you're doing a panoramic image, that's something that you're going to do anyway. That panoramic image right there, if you look at the image size of it, 19 by 11, that's going to go still pretty far if you need it to. And you have the entire vista in view. Something that now you've been able to do in both HDR and inside of Photoshop.